thing we know how to do pretty well. Oh, there's one I've actually been meaning to look at, Dyne, D-Y-N. Dyne is a $8.79 stock. Got a lot of famous and smart stockholders. We generally ignore that. Generally. But there's some shareholders in biotech that are worth paying attention to. I hate, looking at other people's stocks. It's just, even if they're people, I mean, some of them, I've been in their hedge funds or whatever. But, there's no, you really have to be the master of your portfolio, the captain of your own ship. If you can't do that, I think, you have bigger problems. And, the fact that somebody else likes a stock should be basically irrelevant to you. But even the most stoic of investors will pay a little attention to that. Okay, so these guys have Dyne 101, Dyne 251, Dyne 302, and Dyne 401. Okay. Dyne 101 is for myotonic dystrophy type 1. Dyne 251 and its compatriots are targeted towards Duchenne. So these guys sort of want to be like Sarepta, if that makes sense. Maybe a better Sarepta. All right. Well, it's not. It's a little more nuanced than it just being gossip. I mean, if these are your peers in the industry and you're chatting with them and you're comparing notes, it can be valuable. It could also be a waste of time. You got to be smart about how you do it. Okay, so 302 is targeted to another form of muscular dystrophy called FSHD. And finally, they have a Pompe drug. And almost all of these are preclinical. So we're only in phase 1 for DM1 and phase 1 for DMD. And the rest are still in animals. It's a pretty early stage company, but as we know in biotech, even the first couple of people in a disease in a trial can be very informative. So let's make a little thing for 101. This is how I do biotech research. I'm just reading the 10K here. They have a trial called Achieve, and they say it's a registration trial. You guys know what that means? That means it's meant for FDA approval. But it's also the first time anybody's ever gotten the drug. There's a phase 1 and a phase 3 at the same time. Yeah, Baker Brothers are great. I think that you still don't want to drop everything and buy what they're buying. I don't think that makes sense. Unless you do it with Buffett or something. I mean, why, Anyway. So this is a 24-week MAD period, 24-week OLE, 96 long-term extension. But no, is there not a placebo? See, the problem with Sarepta is that they've pressed the FDA so hard that Warren Buffett, they've pressed the FDA so hard that they kind of it's now kind of expected that you don't have to do a placebo-controlled trial for a severe rare disease, and that's just not fair or correct or right. Like that's bad. We need that. We need to know that the medicines we're giving, even if they're in very severe diseases, we need to know that they work. And it's tough love, but at the end of the day, you don't want to give false hope to anybody either. I mean, you say, oh, there's a drug now for DMD and the patient still dies. I mean, what good did you do? Unless it actually is changing the outcome, if you're on 1 HP, you haven't been listening to me. I've been bearish for the last 3 months. You got a weed folio? So it looks like the DMD trial is more or less the same design, I guess. So they're trying to get accelerated approval in 2 cases here. So they're using a Fab, which is the fragment antibody, a linker and a payload. So they have the Fab, and I guess the Fab is the FC portion of the antibody, right? And then they have the ASO or the antisense or something. And then they have a Fab that binds to transferrin, which transferrin's expressed theoretically on muscle. And by being expressed on muscle, they hope that more delivery. Yeah, transferrin is expressed everywhere, right? Tire management quit. Pete says it's a dog. Riff. Let me lower the blinds here. The sun's peeking out. Yeah, usually these frankenproteins. This is worse than a frankenprotein, right? It's a franken. I mean, it's got all 3. It's got a protein, a small molecule, and an antisense or a nucleic acid drug all in once. On tox, I mean, listen, it seems like the tox package is good enough. They let them do a phase 1, and they are doing 2 clinical trials, so can't be that bad. Let's Google up. S&P down 2.65%. But yeah, I mean, high quality stocks should probably outperform. But this is why we short. We've seen too much over the years. It's not hard to find some dog shit companies and hedge out a little beta. Oh, that's interesting, Pete. Okay, yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're talking about here, and we want to look at RNA as well. All right, well, let me look at the holders list of Dyne. It's is Atlas still those are the guys that probably created the company. Fidelity, BlackRock, Henderson, Vanguard, RA. FCPM is probably what, Fraser? Maybe it's Fraser, I don't know. These guys are selling it off. Deep Track sold it off too. No, the challenge is permanent. It's a permanent challenge. We're up 67 basis points, maybe 68. 0.72 bought a little bit. Baker Brothers owns a tiny bit. All right, let's stop reading the 10K and let's go to their website. CWP in Goodell, and the prior terminal. So a bunch of the patients. You can see it's pretty severe illness. You took off the info strip. What are you talking about, Isaac? Oh, wow, I know this guy. We briefly worked together a long time ago. It's a counter signal. No offense to him. He's a perfectly nice guy. We're not really ready to be a brokerage, but at some point, maybe. No, people die in DMD. It's a terrible disease. It's one of the worst diseases known to man. It's just awful. Microsoft up. Flight to quality. Square is up. S&P still down 2.7%. The junk is getting sold. The quality is getting bought. J&J flat. Okay, let's take a look at this. Dyne 101 and DM. 1. Dyne plans to initiate the registration cohort at 6.8 mg per kg. That's a lot for an ASO hybrid. Every 8 weeks, following study data showing splicing correction and functional improvements. Okay. Poor Isaac. Yeah, that too. That's happening shortly as well. We're doing both. Okay, so there's 8 patients at 6 months. Is there a presentation or conference call here? Where's the data? This is terrible. The actual data. Okay, well, they did a conference call. Hopefully they put it in there. Thank you guys for handling this one. S&P worsens, down 3.1%. Some stocks getting hammered, including our favorite D-Wave, but also IonQ. Robinhood down 12%. I'd be shocked if you can get into the cytoplasm with this thing. It's pretty tough. Okay. I don't know. This data looks good. This data looks good to me. I guess we got to look at RNA as possibly superior or something, but it's not too bad. We'll see how DMD did. Isn't this the other way around? You don't know the middle finger test? I don't know. I kind of like it. S&P worsening down 3.4%. And of course, you always want to bet on a company that's developing a drug to treat dying children. I mean, that's a great thing to do, you know. I mean, betting on the company is not going to change anything. But, you know, you're not really supporting anything, to be frank, but you're going to benefit if a nice thing happens. You know, that's sort of one of the fallacies. Matt Nacktrab bought all that Alzheimer's stock, cassava, because he thought, I don't know what he thought, but he said that he would be supporting Alzheimer's by doing so, and his family has a history of Alzheimer's. But you're not supporting Alzheimer's if you do that. I'm short, Franco. We're almost up 1% now. I've about even longs and shorts, a little bit, tiny bit short, because I can't find that many great long ideas. But I mean, if you look at this company, yeah, right, John Doe. So in terms of Nacktrab, he bought the stock, but when you buy a stock, the company doesn't get any money. You're not funding anything. You're making a bet. You're gambling. You're buying it from other stockholders. So you're just gambling. And if you are wrong, which obviously he was quite wrong, the money that you spent could have gone to Alzheimer's research. It could have gone to, say, a privately held company that does need money, of which I offered to show him several that would have gladly taken his money to run experiments and discover new drugs for Alzheimer's, but he wanted to put 60 or 70 million uh, in a side bet. Basically the stock market's a side bet. The primary exchange or the primary offering, that's when the company gets money. But the company only does that, once a year or every few years, sometimes never. No, I like this thing, Austin. I just looked at it, so I'm not ready to buy it. But at first blush, I want to look at avidity. But at first blush, I do like it. I mean, the numbers are going in the right direction. In these tough, rare diseases. I mean, if you're improving the disease, it's nice to see. I think they got a chance. But again, I've looked at it for 10 minutes. So crying OBI, it really doesn't make a difference. Okay, Resolute is at 264. Let me just do some paperwork here. Exscientia has been merged, right? Exscientia is gone.